Hi everyone, Jacqueline here. So today I'm just going to chat with you about gardening and some of my plans for the garden. And the reason I'm doing that is it just poured rain. So I had plans on stepping into the flower bed and stripping a flower bed, all the plants out of the flower bed to start redesigning it because I'm not happy with it, but I'll talk about it. One thing I am happy with though is these pots on the step. They have just been amazing. In fact, I need to cut back the petunias here because they're just gotten so huge. But they are doing great. All my containers are doing really good this year. Not sure why. I haven't done anything different, but they're way bigger than last year. I don't know if it's because I grew a lot of the seedlings myself and that helped fill them in. But everything's just been amazing. And I can't even explain how happy I am with the coleus, as you can see here, because yeah, it's just been exceptional. And I've never had coleus this beautiful and big and strong and healthy. In fact, that one's in bloom. It's just amazing. And the geraniums are just starting to pop that I grew. Some colors I might not grow again. Like, I don't know, I kind of like this one. It's part of the Maverick Mixed I got from Johnny's. And then, because I originally went with orange, and then I did coral, and then I did Maverick Mixed. And I'm seeing more reds than maybe I want to see, but that one's kind of an ultraviolet kind of red, not a true deep red. But anyhow, enough talk about the planters. Let's talk about the flower bed. Okay, so I'm going to stand back and talk to you about this bed, because this bed is a disappointment for me. And basically, I consider this bed butt ugly. And that's what I was going to title my video for you guys, is time to fix up the butt ugly flower bed. And this is it. And the reason I say that is I overhauled this. I think last year I pulled a bunch of stuff out, planted all the heuchera in here that you can see along the front. I did put lupins in here. I put the foxgloves that grew from seed in here. There's GMs in here. I see there's a salvia in here, some lilies, a big clump of irises I need to split. The petunias are not doing well. I want to yank them all out. They do not like it here. They're getting too much, maybe too much sun. And maybe I need to overhaul the soil and enrich it a bit along the edge, which I wouldn't surprise me one bit. Those things need to happen. But there are things good that are happening in this bed and things that aren't so good. So I want to rip pretty much everything out except for a few key things. And I think I want to widen this bed and pull it out a little bit further and then come in with some new fresh soil and some organics and give me more room to do what I want to do, because it's just not living up to my standards, which is full and beautiful, or at least partially full if it's a new bed. But this isn't cutting it. And I'm seeing a little bit of chlorosis on the foxgloves here, some yellowing and that. It's also a dry bed, so we need to remedy that with another line in here, but I do water it every night. It's just a very strange bed, I find. So I have 3 of the roses in here, and these are the hot paprikas. I'm going to pull them out and move them. And right now it looks kind of dry, but it really pours. I'm just going to stay out of it for now. I'm going to pull the lupins out, the digitalis, the foxglove out, the GMs out. I have a hydrangea over here in the back. You can see it right here. It is not amounting to what I expect from it. I'm going to move it to the back and see if it does well there. I actually have pieces of hostas showing up from when I dug them out a couple of years ago, and they're showing up in this bed. So hey, I can move those and reuse those in the garden. Take those out. This here, this monster right here, believe it or not, was a honeysuckle vine, which you can see coming down here. This is the morning glory seeds I planted, you guys. Of all places for it to go wild and crazy. And it's the purple, dark purple with a bit of lavender and white stripe in it. It has went nuts here. I've never had that response from a morning glory in this front flower bed. So I'm going to leave that one alone. I see a lot of buds starting to form on it, so I'm hoping to share that with you when it blooms. But look at the size of those leaves. They're massive. I mean, I'll put my hand beside just to prove how big these leaves get. But look at that, and that's morning glory. So that's pretty impressive in my mind anyhow. I don't know what you guys think. You can tell me in the comments. But these here, I'm just going to zoom out a bit. These here all have to come out all here. I want to take all of this out, leave the heuchera. I want to pull the phlox here, ground cover phlox, forward so that I have a spring display. I would like to come through here, and these are just plans I'm just shooting out there. Tell me what you think of putting, like, running some tulips in here in the fall for next year, because it does get a lot of sun, so it's more of a drier bed. And then I'll pull all this out. I want to take all my irises out of here, out of that corner there. I'm not going to touch that corner though till the lilies are done, and pull them all out, redo the curve all the way around there. Adding some more heuchera around there would actually be really nice, being they seem to like it here. I have some irises over here. That bed is absolutely full. It's just a beast. Considering a lot of that was planted last year, it's impressive. And pull those irises out of there, and these are all bearded irises. Some of them are rebloomers, and put them all in here in the back because they have the nice foliage all year long, kind of the silvery blue foliage. Run the heucheras in front, and then I want to come through with a grouping of colorful perennials behind here and fill in. And I want this bed full so that next year I can get a ton of blooms out of this, but also less work, less planting of annuals, other than my window boxes, which you can see right there. So that's kind of my goal and what I'm wanting to do with this bed. So I wanted to share that with you. Now, I ordered a raised bed in a brown. I think it's about 6 feet long from Amazon to go right here with this eave trough is. This eave trough falls off all the time because it gets so warm. I think it's a plastic composite kind of material. So I want to put that raised bed in here, out here, so we don't have to lift this eave trough every time we mow and then have it sitting there and then plant it up to kind of hide it, is my plan. I think that'll work. And because I'm ordering it in brown, it should match the house and things. So we'll see. It should arrive maybe tomorrow or Saturday. And it's Thursday evening right now, just so you guys know. So I kind of want to do that, and I've ordered it to start with my redevelopment. And I'm going to have to change in here too, but not right now. I'm not touching this till fall because it's so nice and full. I do need to come through and cut the salvias and stuff back, but that's not the area I want to revamp. It's this area here. So that's my plan. So since it rained and I have plans tonight, I'm actually going to go out and socialize, to be honest, you guys, for once. I'm not going to step into this bed. I just don't have enough time to start ripping stuff out and transplanting it. And when I do that job, I want to make sure that I can do the transplants immediately so I don't lose plants. That is huge. The other issue I had in here is I planted all those cornflowers last year. They didn't come back. But now I'm seeing weird stuff in here. And I don't know if it's them or what it is. I don't think it's them. I think it's black-eyed Susans is what I'm seeing here. And so I'm going to wait and see when those open and what I get. And then I'll move those too if they're successful. But like, it's just been a weird bed. So I think it needs all removed other than the heucheras, dug up, more nutrients added, or replanted to make a statement. And then I'll feel a little bit better. But I feel like I'm a failure with this bed for whatever reason. From a distance, it looks okay. Up close, it just looks like crap. I'll be honest. This is not my best work at all. And, you know, many years ago, I had this bed full of shrubs. I had lots of the cherry trees, like the Schubert cherries in here. I had Mungho pines, and I had arborvitaes in here, like ground level cedars. It was just full of shrubs, various colors of foliage and bark, and it was beautiful. But of course, it outgrew the area. So I overhauled it, pulled everything out, and kind of started fresh and thought, well, I'll put more perennials in there, get some more color in. That has not worked at all. So based on what I selected for perennials, and that's where the mistakes were made. So I'm gonna undo my mistakes, and while I'm waiting stuff to come in for the cottage garden, because I need more rock and things to work on that area, and Rob's working on it a bit every day for me while I work my regular job. I need to focus on something else to keep my mind off of it, because it bothers me, because it's, I don't know, when things aren't finished, I want to get them finished, I guess. And so that's kind of annoying me. But anyhow, you can see what I'm working with here. And although, I mean, it looks okay from distance, particularly this corner, because it's quite full, the rest does not here, right up to the eave trough. And then from the eave trough, things pick up and look better along there. Actually, including the grass, looks actually not bad there. But live and learn, you guys. So that's what I wanted to share with you. So that's what you're going to see coming up in the next couple videos, is me ripping out this bed and trying to redesign it. I will probably sit down and spend a couple hours on the weekend coming up with some sort of plan for how I want it to look, and deciding, you know, I've got a bunch of plants set aside that I want to put in here for color, for starters, but I need to move the irises first and then fill in after, because I want these irises to put on a show, because I got quite a few and they're all different. I think that'd be pretty. And then draw it up, and then come through here and just pull everything out and work up the soil, and then come back through, replant with the ones I'm keeping, and then add new plants to it and start working on making it beautiful. And then later on come through, take some of the grass out here along the edge, bring in more soil, and probably some sand for drainage, because we have such heavy winters. Like, I will get snow drifts in here, I swear, 5-6 feet high, you know, that we sometimes have to clear back from the house and that, from the vents, so that the furnace and everything runs. It's just the way it blows in and that. So I need the sand in there for drainage for tulips if I'm going to run them in there. So those are things I'm thinking of doing. I think everything's for sure except for the tulip part. We'll just see if I get to it with everything going on and all the things I want to do with the garden, particularly in the back. And yeah, it's a work in progress, you guys, and I think all gardens are. And that also, I'm going to show you something else I want to rework here. And my little experiment back last fall with tulips in here didn't turn out the way it planned. Not because they didn't grow. And what they did was, when I bought orange tulips, was what I planted, and alliums, it was Purple Sensation, they all ended up being yellow and red. So I've yanked them all out, but I think there's probably a few lingering bulbs in this bed here, which did not make me happy at all. But I'll have to come through and take them out. I left the alliums in there, although they weren't the biggest showy alliums. I don't know, Purple Sensation didn't do it for me. Maybe in bunches, with combined with some Globe Masters and some of the other different kind of alliums, they would look good, but they just didn't look good to me in here. Maybe it takes a few seasons, I don't know. But anyhow, I want to come through here and expand this bed out a bit again. And I see Rob needs to trim the grass. And bring in more tulips and color in here. And I have some other plants to put in here I want to share with you too. So that might be part of this revamp here. We'll see how it goes and that, for getting this done. But it's hanging in there, this bed. I mean, you can see here I've got the white wave petunias and some regular rose petunias in here, which are, they're okay if Rob would trim the grass. I'm cursing him out and he has no chance to respond. That's not really fair, but you know, marriage and everything, it's he deserves a few shots here and there. Trust me, he gives me enough cheap shots. Anyhow, you can see the mixed oh boy, you can see the mixed cosmos in the front here. They're the mixed pinks along here, and they're getting ready to bloom. And then behind them, I planted a few weeks later, were the powder puff or snow puff, cosmos, all the white. And I thought they'd be pretty reflect off the white here. So I'm waiting for that show to start. We'll see how tall they get in here. Last year I put zinnias in here and they got so tall. I was like, well, that was stupid. And then the other thing on the list, you guys, because I'm talking about my front flower beds and the things I'm not happy with, is right there. Number one, I want this darn wood sidewalk out. It was only supposed to be there temporary. And number two, I want my blocks from the backyard brought in here, put in here, and I want to build this bed and make it beautiful. And since I can't get the color blocks anymore, it's perfect in the front with the color combinations here because it's kind of a red gray, and that works with the brown on the house. So that's the plan. And if you look, you can see Rob in the window. He's watching TV. Well, he's watching YouTube, really, I think. Or the news. Anyhow, he worked hard all day on the fence and stuff. He actually wiped out yesterday on the rocks, so he's a little sore. So I'm not bothering him. And we're going to go out with friends for a little bit and have some fun. But anyhow, that's it for tonight, you guys. And I wanted to share that with you. You're going to see this tomorrow morning. I also want to bring up an issue that just occurred. So this is Thursday evening. The issue occurred somewhere around 5 p.m. Saskatchewan time. All of a sudden, something weird happened with YouTube, and I lost a bunch of subscribers. So I would like to ask those that you are subscribed to the channel to double check and make sure you're still subscribed. I don't know what happened. I contacted YouTube because finally I've got access to contact them when they allowed me into their partner program, even though I don't make any money off of anything yet. But they give me access, and now I can contact them. They might regret that. But anyhow, yeah, something weird happened. My numbers are all different on my homepage versus what I'm seeing in my apps and that. And it shows I lost like a chunk of subscribers all of a sudden. And my first thought is a few swear words and what the heck did I do wrong now to drive people away? That was my thinking on it. But then I called and they said they're getting complaints from creators basically all over the world. So I don't know what happened. I don't want to dare say the HACK word. I mean, personally, you guys, my real job is in IT, just so you know. But I'm not going to say more than that because I'm not allowed to with where I work. But anyhow, so I don't know what happened to them, if they made a change to a system or the algorithm or something in the organization and something got messed up, or if something else happened to them from externally, let's say. But check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel and that they haven't removed your access from my channel if you still want to see my content. I've had a few friends check and they were okay. One had been unsubscribed during the week and he was able to resubscribe. So that was really weird that had happened. But there's weird stuff going on and I don't like it, because I'm working so darn hard to move this channel forward and to build this channel and to build this garden and make it beautiful for you guys. It's kind of a frustration for me. So anyhow, now that I'm done with my rant, and probably you guys are probably saying, oh God, do I want to listen to this? I'm sorry, I apologize in advance, but I had to get that off my chest to somebody who would understand, you know, what I'm feeling, because you guys watch my content, support me. So thank you very much. This is going to be a super long video. And be prepared next week. We're going to rip some flower beds apart and change things up. And yeah, we'll see what else is blooming in the garden. Thanks, everyone. And I apologize again for ranting. Bye.